Hello you beautiful essence, and welcome back to my channel. I know, it's been a while. It's been one day. I didn't post, and I have a good explanation for this. I didn't post because it was Thanksgiving, and I made a whole feast. See? Now that took all day of cooking. Me and my sisters, we all teamed up, and then we made this meal, and I was hoping I'd get a chance to record something. I was gonna do it digitally, but I didn't have the chance to, and so you get 2 videos, and I've done them both today. There's some other stuff I have to catch up on, and I'll admit I've been falling behind slightly, but I'm not gonna let that get me down, okay? So for today's prompt, it was fortune, and I drew out like this crystal ball that says fortunately I.D.G.A.F. You know what that means, right? Anyways, so I think I drew this like a few years ago, just randomly. I sketched it out. It wasn't like exactly this design. It was more like the initial idea was just an eyeball with the words fortunately and then the acronym I.D.G.A.F. And it was just a random idea I had, so I sketched it out real quick and said it, forget it, and then now when I saw this prompt, I didn't know really what I was gonna do until I was like flipping through my old sketchbook and saw it, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I've always wanted to like make this a better design, and that's what I did today. So I actually went through a couple of processes. I don't show my sketching stage because frankly it takes too much time, and then it makes the video a lot longer than it needs to be. So I tend to just like sketch everything out off camera and then like finalize it, do the ink work on camera, you know what I mean? So, but I had to go through a couple of stages where like thinking about where I was gonna put the words. Like initially I was gonna put the graphic outside of the crystal ball, and then I was like, no, I should stick to my original design, which had it inside the crystal ball. And so that's what I did. I'm pretty happy with it. It looked very good. I will say I didn't like, I'll tell you when we get to that part, but there was one thing I didn't really like. So I decided to do some dot work. Okay, here's the part I didn't like. When I sketched out this circle, I was like, this looks awful. It is not round. And I spent quite a bit of time trying to make it look better, and you can see when I lift up the sketchbook, it's because I'm like assessing the roundness and seeing like what I can do to make it more round. And I was like almost ready to give up at that point because like I ruined it. It was so perfect before and I ruined it. But I feel like I managed to bring it back to some semblance of roundness. Tried to hide a little bit of that mess, and yeah, I think I'm okay with it. It's obviously not perfect, but it does the job. And I tried to add extra distractions around the crystal ball so that you wouldn't notice how not perfectly circular it is. I really should have invested in like a protractor. I saw one at the dollar store and I was thinking about getting it, but I was like, nah, I don't need it. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, I needed it. I could have used it. And there have been some other prompts that I've made drawings for that I wished I had it, and I'm also a little upset because I know if I did this digitally it would have come out amazingly, but what can you do when you're in a physical space? You can't like make a perfect circle without a tool. So that's the best I got for freehanding it, and you know, I'm okay with it. I have to live with it, and it's not that bad. I'm kind of upset though that like half the circle is cut out of the frame right now, but that's okay. Right here when I was filling in the black part, of the sketch, of the drawing, this pen was running out of ink, and I was getting so upset. I was like, oh no, like, these markers are so expensive because they're like archival and stuff. Anytime you buy like tools that are meant for artists, like artistic pens or markers or whatever, if you buy it from like an art store, you expect it to last like 10 times longer because it costs that much more, but really they work all the same. They do the same thing. It says archival ink, and maybe that does something, but at the end of the day it ran out really fast, so it's not archival in the bottle or in the tube. But yeah, I'm just adding some stars. I think they look alright and stuff, and as you can see, like, I think it looks pretty good. And then I decided to add a little bit more detail to the mist that's going on, the fairy dust. I thought there was a little bit too plain. I was like, well, I could add some more dimension if I darken some areas, and I was like, well, why just at first I was gonna darken the whole thing, but I was like, no, it would be nicer to add some dimension, so I sketched out some points to add it to, and I was even more impressed by how it looked. I think it looks even better, and it distracts you a lot more from the wonky circle. The wonky crystal ball. So overall, I think it's a great design for me. I'm happy with it, and that's all I have to say about that, honestly. I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a digital piece, as well as Thursday, because those days I have school, so it's just easier for me to do a digital piece in class and screen record it than it is to like use my camera and draw it on pen and paper. But I'm actually a little bit bummed because the next coming days I was excited to do those on a physical space, because at least tomorrow's is not going to be that hard. It's fairly simple, and then Thursdays is just something that I wanted to do physically. I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind and try to do them physically and record it, but yeah, we'll see. And yeah, this is like a little process shot, a little like final shot of the finished painting, give you a little close-up of it, and yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, bye.